Mick Kelly from Bombs Away Boxing. I'm here with boxing manager and boxing coach Wayne Woods. Wayne, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright, Mick. How are you, pal?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. I've had the pleasure of you inviting me down to watch a cracking spar between Ellis Ward and Harvey Lambert. It was great to watch, mate. What did you think of Ellis's performance?
Mate, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it controlled distance quite well. Obviously, Harvey, anybody who knows Harvey is former GB member, elite level amateur, 6 foot odd, 6'1", southpaw. So it's hard, especially for Ellis being a little bit smaller. But trying to control that distance, get that timing against somebody bigger, and learning how to get inside against a big, tall, awkward southpaw. So yeah, he performed well, and so did Harvey. It was a quality spar to watch. It'd be a pleasure for anybody to watch that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Now, Ellis began his boxing with you as a kid. From what age?
He walked in gym at like about 14, I think. 14 it was. Never put a pair of gloves on. Know his family really well. And like from there, I started training him. And it was just a couple of sessions in. And everything I shown him, he got. So I said to one of the lads who were in gym, one of the seniors at the time, I said, take a look at him. And he went, I don't see it. I said, watch every drill I give him. Every drill I give him. And give him it, and he got it. Or he'd work on it till he got it. And about a year in, and then he goes on and he gets to national quarters at developments, and lad says to me, turns around and goes, yeah, I see it now. And from there, mate, everything we ever give him, he just picked up, takes everything in his stride. From age of 14, 15, sparring multiple world champions, stuff like that. So he learnt his craft more sparring pros than he did actually fighting amateur.
Yeah, and you were the one who's arranged all of those spars for him. Was there any... Did you feel that sometimes you put him in out of his depth, or could he handle it with everyone you stuck him in with?
He was a young kid at the time. Ability-wise, his ability is second to none, skill set, stuff like that. But obviously sometimes these kids were tougher, they were well schooled, they could old man you. His first pro spar was with Josh Warrington, 4 rounds with Josh, and Josh could tire out with his feet and feints. So you have to learn and adapt to stuff like that. And then from there, he got in. Obviously, I'm not saying he's took some beatings a long way, which most people do. You can't go swimming and not get wet, you know what I mean? So he's had his fair share of taking punishment, but as he grew older and got bigger and grew into a man, them spars got, I wouldn't say easier, because no spar gets easier, but he were well adapted then to deal with them.
Yeah, well listen, in any combat sport, one day you're the hammer, one day you're the nail, and in my experience, you'd have to spend a couple of years being the nail in order for you to learn the lessons you need to learn and then adapt to being the hammer. So, management then, how did you get into that? And tell me a little bit about the fighters you've got on your roster now.
Obviously, I was signing my lads with multiple managers. As you know, I don't manage Ellis. Kev Marine manages Ellis. Conor Lawrence, managed by Steve Wood. And I just felt like, why not have a go in the sen, see where I can take lads. I see multiple managers all over, but it's an hard job in the gym every day, so you're limited with how many fighters you can help, because you can't split your sen into 10 people. Yep. So you can have a very small stable, but then have a big management stable where you can help people with stuff I've learned, going around, deals, who to trust, who not to trust, things like that. And I wear me out on my sleeve, I take minimal off lads, I just want to do the best for them, get them where they want. So, like I say, training wise, obviously I train Ellis, don't manage him, Kev Marie does, train Conor Lawrence, Steve Wood does it, then obviously I've got Joe Granger, another young exciting fighter, manage and train. Armani Francis, a super flyweight, manage and train, very explosive for his weight, loads of stoppages as a kid. Andrea Chekaleski from Wakefield, manage him, southpaw, Albanian kid, lovely lad, can fight. Keenan Alford, he's from Wakefield, they train under Rick Bennett from Trinity Is, and I've just signed from there as well Sam Clark, multiple national champion, Tri-Nations champion, all things like that. And then I spot signed a kid, another lad from Bradford, Tariq Davis, lovely kid. he'll be sort of training with me and training in Bradford. Who else have I got? Oh, and then I've got James Precious. James Precious is a middleweight from Brid, very explosive, come forward, aggressive, is a real talent, you know. So, and most of the lads are between 24 and under, which gives me a young, fresh stable, hungry stable, wanting success. So I just want to try guide them the best I can to my best of ability.
Yeah, and what's the end game for you with all of these fighters? Where do you foresee yourself in 5 years' time?
It's not where I foresee myself. I'd love to have a world champion under my belt.
Yeah.
But it's where I can get them in 5 years. I hope to have multiple champions. You know, out of the crop there, I say, I do believe I can get 4 or 5 English, British champions out of them.
Yeah.
It's all on what opportunities and who's in the way at the times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not where I see myself. It's all about the lads. I'm just here to try guide them the best I can.
Yeah.
Stuff that I've learned off multiple people, you know, like say being around the likes of Josh Warren and Maxie Hughes, people like that. They're not just, when you're in that sort of circle, you're around people like Jimmy Annington, you know, Lee Eaton, Sean O'Hagan, Nick Manners, you know, all top coaches, and top, not just from them, you know, Pat Barrett comes up, people like that, you learn from them, Jamie Moores, Anthony Crawlers. Being around them exposed me to a lot of other people, in between helping Mark Earler with Callum Simpson. You know, opportunities come then, and you learn off everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. I just want to try adapt my fighters and just best job I can do for them.
Yeah.
That's all they can do, mate.
And in order to get these opportunities, tell me a little bit about the work that goes in to helping a fighter accomplish his goals.
Listen, it's never ending. The lads who you train, when you finish training, you're home, looking at their opponents on YouTube, things like that. If they haven't got a fight date off their manager, the lads I manage have got to go out now, look for shows to put them on early enough for them to be able to sell tickets. Yeah. Then I've got to speak with matchmaker, tell them what sort of fighter I want them to fight for, their style. Yeah. And then it just never ends, and you're doing homework, sorting ticket sales out, back to managers, having to sort of cut them out for them, things like that. But yeah, I don't think people understand the work that goes into it. You know, as a coach, you've got to overlook the opponents, look at his every move, come up with a game plan, and then as a manager, you've got to try and push him through, get him the right fights at the right time. So you've got to be observing all of these other fighters, and I bet you it takes a heavy toll on your time management and with your family. Oh mate, people don't see that. So I work for Leeds City Council. I'm head grade digger for Leeds City Council. So I do a call out with them. So I've got lads who work with me there. But in between there, on my break times, I'm looking at fighters. I'm dealing with stuff on my phone, emails, to board, back and forth. And then you get home, you need to get showered because you've got gym, and then you have your tea. But then your kids want to see you and your wife, and the amount of time I lose, same as like this evening, I'll go home. Nailed on, I get an house phone will ring. I lose a hell of a lot of time with my own family. So I just wanting to. People don't realise how much sacrifice you make as a trainer and manager. They just think the boxer makes a sacrifice, but they don't. Boxer can go home and he rests, he switches off because he's trusted me to do his game plan and do everything else for him to make sure everything. All he's got to do is turn up, train, and fight. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know you wear if you weight in gold, mate, to these lads, getting them the opportunities that you've gotten them, and putting the time in that I've seen you put in with the fighters. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we end the interview? Anything else you want to say?
You know what? You give a shout out. There's people who've helped me a long way. Then people know who they are. You know, everybody plays the toll. Plays their part in your path to where you want to be. So regardless if they're weird or you're not with them now, things like that, everybody's helped me out along the way. You've all been part of my journey, and you know, them being part of my journey has helped me to get these lads' journeys. So everybody who's ever been part of my journey, thank you. I appreciate that. Well,
thank you very much for your time, Wayne, and I'll check in with you again after Ellis Boxers on the 21st.
Cheers,
really looking forward to it. Thanks, mate. Cheers.